The chapter opens with Lee Kyung standing on the middle of a bridge, preparing to end his life by jumping. Below him, a stunned crowd shouts for someone to call 911, worried the fire department won't arrive in time. Kyung ignores them, his mind drifting back to his harsh school life, recalling the constant bullying and his own helplessness. He looks down on the spectators, cynically thinking their concern is a lie. He believes everyone is the same, seeing him as nothing but trash, and he feels completely alone. His phone buzzes with a group chat notification, but the messages only mock him and demand his location, filled with threats and demands for money. As Kyung tenses up to jump, a cyclist approaches, shouting for him to stop and look at him. Kyung turns, remaining silent while the cyclist tries to reason with him. The man shares that he also experienced hardships in school but overcame them, urging Kyung to think carefully about his family. The man pleads with him to think of his family's sadness, but Kyung replies that they are all long dead. With nothing left to stop him, Kyung jumps. Sinking into the water, his thoughts turn to his death, the pain, and his body filling with water. He doesn't regret the decision, holding only a last wish to see his mother again. Above, a woman is seen monitoring him. She is revealed to be Sierra the Reaper, a Shikigami or god of death, who finds Kyung quite interesting. This marks the beginning of Kyung's journey, titled The Boys of the Dead. Kyung survives, rescued by an ambulance crew who discuss how close he was to death. After being transported to the hospital, Kyung feels refreshed and immediately leaves as if nothing happened, seeking only a quiet place. As he walks in an alley, someone calls out, asking the human boy to wait. Kyung looks up to see Sierra. She calls him a foolish boy and introduces herself, surprised that he isn't shocked. She notes that humans are usually terrified of her, but he is different. Kyung shows no fear, instead seeming happy as he asks if she is there to kill him. Sierra clarifies her true purpose. She is there to offer Kyung a contract, requiring him to take someone's life for her in exchange for her help. Kyung understands this as a secondary exchange. Sierra explains that by accepting, he will be able to borrow the abilities of the dead for a temporary time. Sierra continues, explaining that Kyung can get the power of a dead person, but he is indifferent and states he isn't interested. Sierra changes her tactic, probing Kyung by asking if he expects to meet his mother after death. She reveals his mother's spirit isn't in heaven or hell, but is still here in this world, and warns him about what he will do if he can no longer see her. Kyung dismisses her words, not believing her. Later, Kyung walks into an alley and spots a group of bad kids hurting a cat. One of them laughs, joking about making a song from its cries and telling his friend to squeeze its neck. Kyung feels a surge of pity for the cat, wondering why there are so many bad people. The bullies, all smoking, keep making mean comments, one telling another to be quiet so he can hear the cat. Kyung confronts them, demanding they let the cat go or face trouble. The bad kids stare at him, asking if it's his cat. Kyung replies that it isn't, but he doesn't care if they hurt him. He explains that the cat has no family just like him and begs for its release before revealing he has already called the police. Enraged, one of the bullies hits Kyung hard, mocking him for calling the police and stopping their fun. Another bully praises the punch, identifying the attacker as Jong, a boxing champion, and asking Jong to teach him later. He declares Kyung is now their punching bag. Jong and the other bullies begin to beat Kyung badly. Jong tells Kyung never to bother his fun again, bragging that Kyung is good practice and that this is more fun than paying for boxing. Kyung lies helpless on the ground as the other kids join in, laughing and agreeing they don't need to spend money on practice when they have him. Lying in pain, Kyung's mind fills with the desire to kill them all, wishing for a world without such people. He feels like he is really going to die, his last thought being a wish to see his mother. A memory surfaces. He is on a sinking ship, hearing an announcement to wear life jackets. His mother puts one on him as the young Kyung cries, terrified of losing her. He then sees she is badly hurt, her blood turning the water red. The young Kyung asks why she is bleeding, but his mother just tells him she is fine. She tells him to remember her words, that his mother loves him very much. A large wave suddenly hits them, washing his mother away and making her disappear. The young Kyung screams for her, shouting, asking where she is, and begging her not to leave him. The story returns to the present, where Kyung sees the small kitten. He wonders why it doesn't run away, noticing it is watching him. Kyung tells it not to be afraid and to come here, but the kitten runs right past him, making Kyung question why. He assumes it wants to go home, but he quickly sees something is wrong. The kitten is running to its mother, who the gang had already killed. One of the bullies laughs, telling Kyung the cat is useless just like him and calls him useless trash. These words ignite Kyung's anger. He shouts that he will sign the contract, demanding Sierra give him her power so he can kill them all. Sierra hears his request and happily accepts. Kyung stands up, ready to face the bullies who beat him. He orders the three of them to stop and gets into a fighting stance. The bullies just laugh hard, asking if Kyung is joking and making fun of him for trying to challenge all three at once. One of them points out his stance to Jong, questioning if it is a boxer's stance. Jong scoffs, asking if Kyung is serious, and tells his two friends to stop laughing and attack. The two bullies rush forward, but Kyung is different now. He seems to possess super strength, able to face both of them at once. Dodging all their punches with ease, he hits them back while avoiding their attacks. Jong watches, frustrated, wondering why they can't land a single hit and noting Kyung's incredible speed. Jong shoves his friends aside, declaring he will fight Kyung himself. He asks Kyung if he was hiding his true strength this whole time, then tells him to come to Hansong Gym at 7 tomorrow. Jong promises to beat him black and blue and see how strong he really is. With a yell of "take this," Jong throws a punch, calling it the Muhammad Ali punch, confident Kyung cannot dodge it. Kyung, however, suddenly dodges the attack and counters Jong's punch with his own, hitting him hard. The other bullies are shocked, unable to believe the boxing champion was hit. Kyung invites all three bullies to come at him at once. A shadow of the boxing legend Muhammad Ali appears behind him, showing Kyung is using his power. He easily beats all the bullies with this new power from Sierra. She then asks him what he thinks of the secondary gamble. Kyung replies that it doesn't matter, his only concern is how to find his mother. Sierra understands his goal and explains that a contractor can see dead souls. The power lasts for 1 hour, and the price for using it is 1 year of his own life. She notes that humans live for over 100 years, so 20 or 30 years is nothing, prompting him to think about how much he will pay. Kyung's answer is 1 year. This confuses Sierra, who asks if he only wants a 1-year contract and if he even listened to her. Kyung clarifies his meaning. He means 1 year is enough time for him to kill anyone who stands in his way. Hearing this, Sierra feels like she hit the jackpot, having found a perfect contractor who will use his whole life for her. She smiles and accepts the deal. The next day, Kyung is shown to have his ticket, realizing what he experienced was not a dream. The story flashes back to him making the contract with Sierra, where Kyung confirms this is the power she meant and that he is borrowing Muhammad Ali's ability, which Sierra affirms. He remarks that he feels like a different person now with so much power. Sierra agrees and proceeds to explain how to use it, opening a large contract gate that reveals a long list of names. This, she explains, is the list of all users who have a contract with the god of death, including famous figures like Jumong the skilled archer, Einstein, and Miyamoto Musashi. Kyung looks at the names, stating they are all great people from world history. Sierra then explains that the ticket is the item he uses to access the power. Kyung questions if the ticket lets him use the power again and choose the soul he wants to borrow, which Sierra confirms. He then inquires if he just needs to rip the ticket to use it. Sierra affirms this as well, but warns the power only lasts for 1 hour. She gives him his tickets, mentioning she only has one left and will get more from hell. Kyung wonders when she will return with them. Sierra replies she should go now and will bring back 100 tickets as a gift. His next question is what he should do. In response, Sierra gives him a necklace, telling him to keep it safe. The necklace, she explains, will shine when he is near a soul connected to his mother. She clarifies that Kyung cannot see the soul himself, so he must find and make physical contact with a person who can. Kyung understands he must touch this person to see the soul. Sierra then says she is finished explaining, but Kyung stops her, needing to know how he is supposed to find this person. Sierra tells him to find a shining amethyst, assuring him this person is always nearby and watching him. The next day, Kyung gets ready for school, putting on the necklace. He thinks about Sierra's words, deciding he must go to school since the person is nearby. The bullying starts the moment he arrives. Classmates point, remarking that Kyung is back and looks fine. Their words are quickly followed by action as bullies mess up his desk and pour ink all over his books. Kyung silently observes, thinking they are starting again and acting like children. One bully taunts him, asking if he is trying to act cool. Nearby, a rich classmate plays with nunchucks. Another student questions if he really knows how to use them, prompting the rich kid to boast that he just started today and they should all watch his skills. He suddenly demonstrates by hitting Kyung with the nunchucks. Kyung cries out in pain. The bully Hyeon then mocks Kyung about his dead mother. This infuriates Kyung, who warns Hyeon to stop and threatens to kill him. His sudden outburst silences the entire class and they all stare. Hyeon reacts by kicking Kyung to the ground. Fed up, Kyung decides to use his ticket. As he is about to, he remembers Sierra's words, recalling he needs both the ticket and physical contact with the special person to see his mother's soul. He only has one precious ticket and knows he cannot waste it now. Kyung quickly changes his tone and apologizes to Hyeon, making up a story about being confused from a nightmare. The classmates burst out laughing, calling Kyung crazy and foolish. Hyeon warns Kyung he won't be forgiven next time. Later, Kyung is consumed with thoughts of how to find the person who can see souls. He wonders if he is supposed to touch everyone in the school until he finds them. The thought makes him feel like he is wasting his time, and he resolves to start searching. His eyes then land on someone doing fortune-telling. He notices a purple color, thinks this must be the hint, and approaches the girl to ask for a palm reading. The girl reluctantly agrees, acting disgusted as she begins the reading. Kyung feels nothing and sees no souls, so he quickly pulls his hand back, saying never mind, but she tells him to show her his palm again. After school, Kyung is depressed, wondering when he will find his mother's soul. He reflects on how hard it was to ask just 10 people, realizing he only has 364 days left. With 10,000 students in the school, he figures it could take him a whole month just to check everyone. He remembers Sierra's words, reminding himself he cannot waste his only ticket. He must save it for when he makes contact with the real amethyst person. As Kyung is walking, he sees Hyeon and his friends bullying the same fortune-teller girl. He thinks to himself that Hyeon is a bastard for harassing a girl, but he decides not to help, convincing himself that everyone is trash. Kyung resolves to just search again tomorrow, wishing there was a faster way. His plan is cut short when one of Hyeon's friends spots him and calls out Kyung's name. The friend calls Kyung a new dog and orders him to come over. One of the bullies immediately grabs Kyung and drags him to the group. The bully asks where Kyung has been, while Hyeon states he is still thinking about what happened that morning. Hyeon then calls Kyung a punching bag and gets ready to start beating him. Kyung endures the bullying as Hyeon's friends mock him, asking if he is stupid and telling him to repeat the brave words he said at school. Kyung stays silent, his mind focused on the single ticket he possesses. He wishes he had more tickets so he could beat them all up, but he doesn't move, forcing himself to be patient and just endure the humiliation. The taunts continue, one of them even betting his allowance that Kyung's underwear is red. The bullies then humiliate Kyung by pulling his pants down, only to find his underwear is black. Kyung feels a wave of shame but is powerless to do anything. The bullies laugh, noting he wears black underwear, and one comments that he will get 2 cream breads tomorrow from the bet. Kyung is filled with anger and wants to fight back, but he forces himself to remain patient. Hyeon notices his expression and questions why Kyung's face looks so angry. Kyung keeps his anger bottled up, insisting he is not angry at all. Hyeon suddenly slaps him and starts hitting him, calling him a bastard. Hyeon admits he doesn't know why, but he just hates Kyung, calling him a dog and telling him not to blame him for the hate. Hyeon continues the assault, yelling, "Take this, you're disgusting," and demanding to know if Kyung is angry now. Kyung's eyes suddenly show he is completely fed up with Hyun. This new look actually intimidates Hyun, who thinks to himself that Kyung's eyes at school looked like they wanted to kill, but this expression is different. The other friends just provoke Hyun, yelling at him to just hit Kyung. Provoked, Hyun declares he should just beat Kyung like a punching bag until he is satisfied. He then starts relentlessly hitting Kyung with the nunchucks. While being beaten, Kyung wonders what he could have done to deserve this, questioning why he is always the one they bully when he has done nothing to them. A quick flashback shows Kyung has always been bullied like this by his classmates. He feels a deep, rising anger, wondering what his sin is to be treated this way. Despite his anger, Kyung fights the urge to use his single precious ticket, forcing himself to be patient. After Hyun is finished, he mocks Kyung, calling him a doll that doesn't feel any pain. He instructs Kyung to wear red underwear next time so he can win the bet. Another bully chimes in, ordering Kyung not to look so unhappy. Kyung ignores them, his mind focused only on his real goal of finding the person who can see dead souls. His focus is broken when one of the bullies spots the necklace around Kyung's neck and snatches it, thinking he can get money for it. After inspecting it for a moment, the bully calls it trash. Kyung simply states that it isn't expensive and asks for it back. The bully Byung then offers a deal. He proposes to give the necklace back, but first Kyung has to take something. Byung holds out a spoiled milk carton, explaining he will return the necklace if Kyung eats what's inside. The others watch, wondering if Kyung will actually do it. Looking inside, Kyung sees it's not milk but full of cigarette butts and ash. Byung confirms this, telling him to eat the ash to get the necklace back. Kyung feels he has no other choice. Needing the necklace, he endures the humiliation and eats the ash, telling Byung he is done. Byung calls him a tough guy and jokes about winning a bet, saying he'll give the necklace back. Kyung simply replies thank you, but Byung betrays him, laughing as he admits he was just kidding and calling Kyung an idiot. Byung throws the necklace on the ground and stomps on it, crushing it completely. He mocks Kyung for being so easy to fool and for eating the ash, pointing to the destroyed necklace. As everyone bursts out laughing, something inside Kyung finally snaps. He can't take it anymore. He pulls out his ticket and rips it, activating the contract with someone from the past. This new power flows into him while Byung is still taunting, asking if he is angry about the necklace. Tearing the ticket means Kyung is done going easy on the bully. A second later, he punches Byung, sending him flying backward and even causing him to vomit blood. Everyone is shocked by what Kyung has done. They shout at him, wondering what's gotten into him and if he has gone crazy. Kyung angrily replies that he was trying to endure everything for something important to him. He yells that they destroyed his precious necklace and that they have awakened a sleeping tiger. Kyung immediately grabs the nunchucks and begins using them with incredible speed, moving like a true martial arts expert, and threatens to kill all of them. It is confirmed that Kyung has summoned the soul of the legendary martial artist, Bruce Lee. Instead of being scared, Kyung's friends just laugh at him. One of the bullies sarcastically apologizes before telling the others to go and hit Kyung. The rest of the gang agrees and rushes forward, shouting, "Let's beat him," and reasoning that they can just recover if they get hit. But Kyung, now filled with the skill of Bruce Lee, begins to use the nunchucks. He moves with an incredible agility that shocks everyone, leaving them unable to believe his new abilities. Kyung uses a flying kick and throws the nunchucks, defeating several of them at once. The remaining bullies are furious, one calling him a damn puppy, but Kyung continues to beat them down one by one, leaving all of them almost unconscious. The girls watching are stunned, wondering if what they are seeing is real. Kyung then grabs one of the bullies, who yells at him to let go. Instead, Kyung uses a donkey kick, twisting the bully into a painful lock. The last of the friends see this and rush in to help, attacking from different angles. They yell at each other to go help their friend and to block Kyung. Kyung, however, moves with impossible speed, dodging all their attacks and striking back from every side using Bruce Lee's techniques, leaving the bullies terrified. The boss, Hyun, finally steps in, calling his friends useless puppies. He is met by Kyung, who easily dodges a punch from behind, just like a Bruce Lee movie, and counters by kicking the attacker's knee before hitting him hard in the face. Kyung then grabs Hyeon's arm and unleashes a series of deadly, rapid punches. Hyeon is beaten relentlessly while his friends can only watch, completely stunned. Kyung finishes the fight by using Bruce Lee's ultimate move, the 1-inch punch. He hits Hyeon with it, and Hyeon is knocked unconscious instantly. Kyung then walks arrogantly over to the defeated Hyeon and delivers a final warning, telling him never to bother the girl again or he will be ripped apart. Kyung demands Hyeon say he understands, threatening to rip his jaw off if he fails to answer. The terrified Hyeon quickly confirms he understands. After the fight, Kyung's victory is soured by a sudden annoyance. He realizes he used his one and only ticket, and Sierra hasn't given him the new ones yet. It was a bit too easy to beat them, and now he wonders when he will get more tickets and what he is supposed to do. His thoughts are interrupted as he spots the fortune teller girl searching the pocket of an unconscious bully. Kyung questions what she is doing. She explains she is looking for her special ring. She thanks Kyung, admitting it would have been a big problem if he hadn't shown up, and promises to treat him next time since she is busy. As she leaves, Kyung's eyes catch the ring she's holding, a purple one. This triggers a sudden realization, and he remembers Sierra's words about finding a shining amethyst. He is stunned, understanding he just hit the jackpot. He knows that's her, but she immediately gets into a taxi and leaves. Kyung is too late to stop her, but he knows he has found his clue. A new certainty washes over him. The child who sees souls is found. The scene shifts to Kyung's house, where he sits telling Sierra everything that happened. She questions what he means about the necklace being broken, and Kyung confirms it was destroyed. Sierra reassures him it's no problem and instructs him to give her the broken pieces, saying she can fix it. Kyung is relieved to hear she can repair it. Sierra then gives Kyung the fixed necklace along with the 100 tickets she promised. Kyung thinks to himself that she gave him the tickets much faster than he expected and that he should go since he is already late. He leaves his house rushing and collides with a girl, knocking her tall 3-scoop ice cream to the ground. Kyung apologizes, explaining it was an accident, while privately worrying that he is running late and should have arrived by now. He gives the girl some money, telling her to buy whatever she wants because he has to go somewhere urgently and cannot stay. As Kyung rushes away, the girl looks at her hand and sees he gave her fake music coins. She angrily mutters, "You thought I wouldn't know, wait," but then quickly covers her mouth, reminding herself to stay quiet because she is outside. The scene shifts again, showing Kyung at a cafe meeting with Gem Holly, the girl he saved from Hyeon's gang. He explains his situation, and Gem Holly asks if he really wants to see his deceased mom through her. Kyung confirms this is why he is here. Gem Holly thinks for a moment, confirms she can see spirits, and promises to do her best to help him find his mother. Kyung is happy and questions if it is really true that she can see them. Gem Holly laughs, calls him cute, and shows him her hand. She explains that her ring is made of telekinetic power, and Kyung recognizes it as the ring he saw before. She says that when she wears it, she can feel the presence of many souls. Suddenly, Gem Holly grabs a spoon and hits Kyung on the head, leaving him confused. At another table, the pink-haired girl from the ice cream incident sees him and thinks, "That's the boy who dropped my ice cream." Kyung holds his head, asking what that was for. Gem Holly apologizes, explaining she had no other option, as a vindictive soul stuck for 300 years was trying to attach itself to him, which would have made his life very difficult. Kyung questions why it was him, but Gem Holly dismisses it as no big deal and tells him not to thank her. She explains this power is passed down in her family, which is why her schedule is to be at school during the day and see clients in the evening, informing Kyung he is special, so she will help him. Kyung expresses his thanks again. Gem Holly then mentions hearing the chocolate and orange parfait at the cafe is very tasty. Kyung understands the hint and goes to buy it for her, thinking about how expensive it is at $20. He wonders about what souls look like, remembering Gem Holly said he could also see them if he makes physical contact with her, and he decides to try it later. As he walks back, his attention is caught by a large man staring at Gem Holly. Kyung worries she would see him as a pervert if he just touched her, so he decides it's better not to try. He returns to her table only to find she isn't there. His gaze is suddenly drawn to the other side of the road where he spots her running away, pursued by the large man from the cafe. Kyung questions why the man is chasing her, realizing she must be in danger and knowing he has to help. He immediately breaks into a run, chasing after them. In his hurry, he encounters the pink-haired girl again. Kyung slams into her, knocking her cat food to the ground, but he continues running without stopping. The pink-haired girl watches him go, angrily noting this is the second time he has done this to her today. Kyung follows them into a dense crowd but loses sight of them. He frets about the number of people, wondering how he can find her fast. He then looks at the ticket in his hand, activating it and borrowing the power of a long-jump athlete named Silvio Carter, who was supposedly the best from 1900 to 1952. Kyung begins jumping from building to building for a better view, scanning the streets. He anxiously wonders where she is, worrying she might have gotten too far away or that something serious has happened. His search is interrupted by a scream, causing him to look back. He spots Gem Holly running for her life and immediately leaps from the building to get to her. The scene cuts back to the pink-haired girl who has just finished building a small cat house. She admires her work, thinking it took a lot of time but is complete and very cute. Her admiration is cut short when Kyung lands directly on top of the cat house, completely destroying it. He wonders if he had a good landing, then looks down, questioning what this garbage is beneath him and guessing an elementary school kid must have left it here. His gaze then falls on the angry pink-haired girl standing right next to him, who furiously demands to know what he thinks he is doing. Kyung mutters an apology, asking if it was hers, and offers to fix it if she gives him some time. She demands he fix it right now, insisting she worked very hard to make it. Kyung agrees and starts trying to put the cat house back together. The girl then questions why he is talking to her so informally, but Kyung just mutters to himself that she is the one talking informally. His mind races, realizing this is the same girl he bumped into earlier and that he needs to get out of here. He grows annoyed, thinking she is acting like a child and wondering why he couldn't have landed anywhere else. He knows he must fix this quickly so he can leave and find Gem Holly. After a moment, Kyung presents his repaired version, asking what she thinks. The girl stares at it before telling him it looks different from before and now just looks like garbage. Kyung snaps back, questioning what she is talking about and insisting it was garbage from the start. The girl glares at him, demanding to know what he said, but Kyung just mutters to himself that he should let it go. Kyung says nothing as the pink-haired girl tells an unseen person to be quiet. He thinks she is crazy and tries to leave, offering to pay for the box, but the girl angrily refuses his money and tells him to get lost. Kyung laughs, explaining he is looking for someone, which makes her snap at him. He gets angry and shouts back that her cat house was garbage and he has more important things to do. They argue, she calls him an idiot, and he storms off, annoyed by the delay. His thoughts immediately return to his real mission, finding Gem Holly, but his search is cut short. The large man from the cafe suddenly grabs Kyung, shows him a photo of Gem Holly, and calls her a scammer. Kyung is shocked. The man explains that she cons people by pretending to see souls. Before Kyung can react, the man's mother appears, hits her son, and drags him away for making excuses. Kyung freezes, realizing Gem Holly is a fraud. He feels like an idiot for wasting so much time. Furious, he sits by a storefront, only to see the pink-haired girl walk past, muttering angrily to herself. He thinks this crazy girl again, but then a thought hits him. If she isn't crazy, what if she is the gleaming amethyst? He instantly reaches out and grabs her hand, knocking her hat off. As she stares at him, Kyung looks to the side and his world changes. He can see the souls. He mutters, "I found you." Kyung says he has found her, wondering if this is really the one who can see souls. The pink-haired girl angrily demands to know what he is doing. Kyung quickly apologizes, insisting he had no bad intentions, but she warns him that her mood is terrible and it will be bad for him if this is a joke. Kyung realizes grabbing her just made things worse. He decides to be direct, stating he knows she can see souls. The girl is shocked, asking if he is crazy as she hides her face. This brings back painful childhood memories of talking to souls and being blamed for bad things. Back in the present, Kyung understands she wants to keep this a secret. The girl tries to leave, but Kyung stops her. She yells at him to let her go, angrily reminding him that he was the one who called her crazy earlier. Kyung remembers and admits it, apologizing for his mistake and insisting he needs to talk about something important. She shouts at him to stop following her, still denying everything, just as two police officers notice them arguing. The girl panics, grabs Kyung, and begs him to hide her until they leave, which Kyung agrees to do. After the officers pass, they sit together, but Kyung wonders why she is still acting so weird. The girl soon gets up to leave, and Kyung follows her. He then sees a child run past them, terrified of a ghost, and notices the girl is walking right toward the spot the child just fled from. The girl thinks to herself that she can't tell Kyung to leave since she just asked for his help, but Kyung insists they walk together, thinking she must have seen a soul in this weird place. He watches her start to build another box, and she coldly tells him to watch quietly or get out. Kyung agrees to just watch, but when she starts praying to the box, he comments that it doesn't look like a cat house. This irritates her and she snaps that she can't help him. Realizing she is upset, Kyung tries to help by suggesting things he read online, like grass for the cat to play with. The girl just glares at him, so he keeps suggesting things like a plastic bag for the sound or catnip, which he offers to go buy. She tries all his suggestions, but the cat's soul remains agitated. The girl complains that this is frustrating, and Kyung agrees, thinking he could help if he could only see it. He makes a quick decision and grabs her hair to make contact. Instantly, a terrifying, dangerous cat soul appears right in front of him. Kyung recoils in fear, letting go of her hair and wondering if she is trying to appease a cat or a monster. As the girl thinks to herself that souls get angrier when approached, she starts walking closer to the dangerous spirit. Kyung yells at her to stop, warning her that it's dangerous. The girl calmly addresses the terrifying cat soul, questioning why it's so angry and explaining that souls often look scary but aren't. She communicates to the spirit that she knows it was abandoned by its owner, which is the source of its aggression and hate. She then reaches into a nearby bucket and pulls out the body of a dead kitten covered in paint. Kyung is horrified, asking if it's the same cat. The girl sadly notes that the paint won't come off, wondering aloud what kind of bastard would do this. Kyung immediately offers to go buy some cleaner and runs off. Left alone, the girl wonders why the cat soul was so angry at the innocent child. Her thoughts are interrupted by a shout as a new group arrives. Their leader is yelling at Jong-ah and his friends, furious and questioning if they have any brains for getting beaten up by a single high school kid. He then berates them for wasting his money by putting a cat in the paint. As Jong-ah and the others bow and apologize, the girl walks right up to them. She demands to know if they were the ones who put the kitten in the paint box. The leader dismisses her, asking who she is and telling her to go play somewhere else. The girl shouts at him not to change the subject and asks if they want to see what its mother looks like. Jong-ah admits it's the kitten he put in the paint. This admission just makes the leader laugh, who comments that it's cute. The girl instantly slaps the leader hard across the face, shocking everyone. She orders him to stop laughing, warning him that the mother's soul is incredibly angry, and demands they apologize to the kitten and its mother right now. The thug refuses, threatening her to say it again, but the girl bravely slaps him. She questions if he is deaf and insists he apologize before she forces him to. This pushes the thug over the edge. He grabs her shirt, angrily demanding to know why he should listen to a little kid like her. As he raises his hand to strike, Kyung throws a bottle at the thug's head, yelling at him to let her go. The other thugs, including Jong-ah, immediately recognize Kyung as the one who beat them up earlier. Their leader is furious, questioning how they all got beaten by this one kid. One of them tries to explain that Kyung fights like a boxer and he was caught off guard, but the leader just calls them all useless. Kyung steps forward, threatening to hit the bastard thug, and reaches into his pocket for a ticket. A moment of panic hits Kyung as he realizes his tickets are gone and he frantically searches for them. Seeing his opening, the thug viciously attacks the distracted Kyung. The thug beats him while mocking his fearlessness, wondering aloud if Kyung will even survive the day. As he is being beaten, Kyung spots his ticket on the ground. While Kyung is being held, the girl is harassed by the other thugs and yells at them to let her go. Kyung struggles on the ground, fighting back while desperately trying to reach his fallen ticket, his mind racing with frustration that he just needs his ticket. Kyung finally snatches the ticket, stating he was looking for this. He remembers Sierra's words that ripping the ticket will start the next exchange. But just as Kyung is about to tear it, the girl's voice cuts in, stating that this is annoying and she is going back now. Before Kyung can act, the girl shouts out that she is here. As the thug leader moves to slap her, calling her crazy, several bodyguards suddenly appear. They intercept the thug and begin beating him up, revealing the girl is a rich kid who was being searched for by her large security team. One bodyguard reports that he has found her and will take her immediately. The thug leader, still defiant, demands to know if they know who he is. A bodyguard simply chokes him, lifting him with one hand and warns him to be quiet or he will kill him. The thug is terrified by this display of strength. The girl instructs the bodyguard, whom she calls uncle, to stop and to take all the thugs to the police station. With the danger gone, her attention immediately returns to the kitten she wanted to save, and she wonders what to do now. A bodyguard questions if she ran away because of the cat, then says to leave it to him, as he has experience helping vets. The bodyguard begins to treat the kitten, trying to revive it, while the girl worries about how they can possibly clean all the paint off, but the bodyguard replies that there is no hospital nearby. The bodyguard apologizes, stating he thinks the kitten is already dead, and also notes that the weather has suddenly become cold, which doesn't feel like a good sign. At that moment, Kyung is still holding the girl's hair. He feels the air get much colder, a vibration so strong that anyone could feel it. This makes him think about the sadness of losing family, reminding him of his own mother dying, swallowed by the waves. While holding the girl's hair, Kyung can clearly see the mother cat's soul, which looks like a furious monster. Kyung says it sounds silly, but he thinks he can somehow save the kitten. Kyung rips his ticket and, now possessed by a new soul, begins to perform therapy on the kitten, trying to bring it back to life. The mother cat's soul misunderstands his actions and becomes even angrier. The girl, who can also see the soul, yells at Kyung to stop, warning him that he is only making the mother cat angrier. Just as the monster-like soul is about to attack Kyung, another spirit suddenly appears and stops the cat. This new soul is James Harriet, a world-class veterinary surgeon from 1916 to 1995. Kyung is using this soul's power to save the kitten. The girl rubs her eyes in disbelief, wondering if she is hallucinating this new, detailed soul, and notes she has never seen a soul like this before. Under Kyung's care, the kitten suddenly revives and starts to recover. The bodyguards are amazed, wondering how he saved it. The spirit of the cat transforms into light, and the girl, watching it, says that the kitten's mother had finally found peace. Kyung also looks up at the starry sky and murmurs for the cat's spirit to rest in peace. The girl, Yeon, starts to speak, but Kyung interrupts, saying there's no need to thank him for helping. Yeon snaps back that she wasn't going to thank him and instead starts scolding him. She yells at Kyung, demanding to know why he didn't use his veterinary skills from the start if he knew how to do that. She then calls him incredibly weak, questioning why he even bothered to fight the thugs when he clearly can't, and says she has never seen anyone so pathetic. As she lectures him, Kyung just thinks to himself that she's the one surrounded by monsters. Yeon then asks her bodyguard for a plaster. The bodyguard hands one over and she gives it to Kyung, putting it on his face for him. She admits that he only kept getting hit because of her and that she is a truly weak person. Kyung grumbles to himself that her words feel like being hit all over again. A bodyguard then tells Yeon that she can't sneak out like this, warning her that the chairman will be angry, and she agrees it's time to go. The bodyguard hands Kyung a business card, instructing him to go to the hospital and use it to pay for his medical bills. As they are about to leave, Kyung calls out for them to wait, but he stops himself, remembering Yeon had said she wouldn't help him, and he loses hope. Just then, Yeon turns back, introduces herself as Han Yeon, and says, "See you later." Kyung realizes he has hit the jackpot, finally finding the person who can see souls. High above on a power line, Sierra watches him, thinking to herself that the game has finally started and it's going to be very interesting. Later, after finding Yeon's address, Kyung is determined to get inside her heavily guarded house. He notes the scary high fences, realizing the house was easy to find because it's huge, and identifies her as the daughter of Xuan. He figures she isn't allowed to leave, so he must find a way in without alerting her guards. As he prepares to sneak in, the kitten he saved follows him, meowing loudly. Kyung desperately tries to shoo the kitten away, worried it will get him caught. He frets that he looks like a thief and it will be all over if the police are called. Deciding he has no choice, he rips one of his tickets to summon a new soul to meet Han Yeon. With this new power, Kyung scales the high wall of Yeon's house with incredible agility, moving faster than anyone. He is now using the soul of Derek Hersley, 1956–1993, who was nicknamed the god of climbing of the entire world. Kyung thinks to himself that with a ticket, this is very easy. He looks down from the wall and is shocked by the number of guards on duty. He counts them 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12 and realizes there are dozens of bodyguards patrolling the grounds. He wonders why Yeon needs so many guards and how he is supposed to get past them, especially if they are all as strong as the one he saw earlier. A new thought suddenly strikes him. Wait, many bodyguards, that's it, and he gets a very crazy idea. The scene changes to Yeon's father, Hanti, the chairman of Group N. He is furious, questioning how so many guards couldn't watch one small child and ordering his employee to punish them all. Hanti mutters to himself about being offended, but his mood changes instantly when he receives a phone call from Yeon. Yeon tells her father she doesn't need the bodyguards, explaining she is frustrated having them around her all the time. Hanti dismisses her feelings, demanding to know why she can't just obey him and stating he is confident in his choice of guards. Yeon requests that if he must choose, he should at least pick someone thin, calm, and short. Hanti just hangs up on her. Yeon yells in frustration about how annoying her father is. A moment later, a maid enters to tell her it's time for dinner, but Yeon refuses, saying she doesn't want to eat. The maid worries to herself, "Oh my, Miss isn't eating again today." One of the guards tries to reason with her, explaining he is just afraid she will get hurt if she leaves, and that she needs to stay healthy even if she is angry. Yeon shouts "I hate everything" and locks herself in her room under the covers. The guard hears a noise and questions if that is the sound of snacks, but Yeon just says whatever. The guards and maids continue trying to coax Yeon to eat, offering her snacks. Elsewhere, her father Hanti is furious, declaring he can't let her choose her own bodyguard and that she is not allowed to leave the house. One of his employees suggests this is too hard on her, but Hanti dismisses the concern, comparing someone to a rat avoiding police for 10 years. The employee cautions Hanti, questioning if he is okay with Yeon hating him for being locked up without knowing why. Hanti replies that he has no choice, as he doesn't want to remind her of a trauma she has forgotten. The employee then puts forward a new candidate named Choi Bam for her bodyguard. Hanti recognizes the name and inquires about his skills. The employee explains he is a replacement for Mewtwo and a skilled fighter who once single-handedly cleared out the poisonous snake organization. This impresses Hanti, who acknowledges that Poisonous Snake is a large organization. A flashback then shows a man, presumably Choi Bam, defeating several members of Poisonous Snake and stating he knows they are there. Back in the present, Hanti considers recruiting this man. The employee praises him as the best in the world, a crazy fighter perfect for catching a crazy killer. Hanti agrees, admitting he looks forward to it, and instructs the employee to prepare an interview to test his skills. The employee confirms and then secretly sends a message, stating his confidence that they can convince the president of Xuan Group to proceed with their plan. This employee is a traitor. He then makes a call, confirming he is speaking to Choi Bam and offering him a job to kidnap a little girl named Han Yeon. Choi Bayam recognizes the name as the daughter of Xiuan Rupiah and notes this job just got bigger. The trader employee states their employer will pay anything but warns there is one problem: the large number of bodyguards will make the kidnapping difficult. Choi Bayam merely thinks to himself, bodyguards, I have a good idea. The scene then shifts to Hanti recruiting even more bodyguards. Among the candidates is a long-haired man who is Choi Bayam. He thinks to himself that with dozens of guards, it's impossible to kidnap the girl. Also in the interview line is Kyung, who has applied for the bodyguard position. Kyung appears very naive and unprofessional, especially compared to the serious, professional fighter next to him named Baek Chom.